There are no epic fails or clever pranks on this video, no cute cats, but I do have something extremely important that I want to share with you. For the past 15 years, I've been developing material for this video, and I'm now ready to describe how planet Earth is the heart of a living solar system. So please give it a chance, keep an open mind and an open heart, and with that being said, I'm going to start by asking a question. Are you worried about the environment? Some people aren't, and I guess that's understandable. The planet is huge, and the surface so vast, it's almost impossible to get a sense of the whole. Maybe the local environment looks pretty good where you're at, but that doesn't mean it's good all around the globe. A good portion of the Amazon rainforest really is burning to the ground, and an island of plastic the size of Texas is growing in the Pacific Ocean. And there doesn't seem to be any organization or government with the power and inclination to fix these and many other environmental problems. Now, when we talk about the environment, what we're really talking about is the biosphere. Now, what exactly is the biosphere? Let me sort of explain. So, planet Earth has a predominantly plant-based biosphere. This represents the biosphere. 83% of the biomass of the biosphere organisms is made up of plants. Now another 16% is made up of soil bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that facilitate the growth of plants. Animals make up less than 0.5% of the biomass of the biosphere. If you zoom in on the animals, this little red square in the corner represents about 8 billion humans, accounting for 2.5% of the animal biomass. So here we are, right there, such a tiny little fraction of the whole, and yet our human industrial society is threatening the health of the entire biosphere. We desperately need to heal and restore the planetary biosphere. But the vast majority of people don't even know what the biosphere is. It's not easy to motivate people to work for and take care of something that they can't see and understand. What we really need is a model of the biosphere that we can show people and say, here it is, this is what we're talking about. The problem is the biosphere is huge, so vast and complicated that it's not easy to wrap your mind around it. The biosphere is a planetary phenomena, so any model of the biosphere must include the planet. But what about the sun? 83% of the biomass of the biosphere organisms is made up of plants, which are photosynthetic. Plants are rooted in the earth, but they are electrically charged by the sun, and the tidal rhythms of the moon flow within plants. The earth, sun, and moon are all parts of the biosphere that must be included in the model. Now, it just so happens that for the past 14 years, I have been developing the Monad Calendar Clock app, which is, among other things, a dynamic model of the planetary biosphere. So, let me show you what this looks like. It's on my phone here. I'm going to set it up so that you can see my phone screen as I operate the app. Okay, there it is. So, Monad features a planet Earth at the center of a time and date-telling celestial sphere. And using Monad, it's easy to demonstrate the photosynthetic biorhythms of the predominantly plant-based biosphere. Now, all living organisms, both plants and animals, have biorhythms. Animal biorhythms involve the distribution of oxygen in the blood to cells in the body. And this includes the heartbeat, the breath, and various endocrine cycles. Photosynthetic biorhythms involve the distribution of light from the sun and moon to photosynthetic plants growing on the surface of the earth. sunlight is as vital to plants as oxygen is to animals. So let me show you the three main planetary photosynthetic biorhythms: the solar day, the lunar month, and the seasonal year. All right. Now, a solar day is the time it takes for the sun, or the Earth, to make a complete rotation relative to the sun. Night and day, separated by the Earth's circle of illumination. Night and day are the equivalent of a photosynthetic heartbeat. And I want you to notice that you're looking at the Earth from an unusual perspective, the axial perspective. That's the Earth's spinning axis there. Now, ordinarily, you look at the Earth from the equatorial perspective, right? North at the top, south at the bottom, as if the Earth were a spinning top viewed from the side. But with MONAD, you're looking along the spin axis so that you can follow the progression of the time zone spanning our hand, which marks your location on the globe. So I'm located here in Northern California, so that's where my hour hand is located. Here's the west coast and the east coast of North America. So here it is on the app. The Earth is spinning. The axis is right in the middle. The equator is on the edge there. You see the entire north hemisphere of Earth. And next is the lunar month, which is the time it takes for the moon. That's the moon right there, to make a complete orbit of the Earth, going through its phases relative to the sun. So I'm going to speed things up here. And at this position right there, you have a dark moon, when the moon is between the Earth and the sun. Here's a waxing half moon, and a full moon would occur right there. All right, and the third planetary photosynthetic biorhythm is the seasonal year, which is the time it takes for the sun to apparently circle the ecliptic, this tilted red circle right here. Let's zoom in a bit. That's the ecliptic, and where it crosses the celestial equator marks one of the nodes. This is the ascending or spring equinoctial node. So once again, I'm going to speed this up. And right about there, halfway between the nodes, would be the summer solstice position. Now the sun is descending from north to south towards the south hemisphere. And that's the descending equinoctial node right there, the fall equinox. And now we're approaching the winter solstice position right there. Now, note that the MONAD always maintains a vertical orientation of the number dial, so that the sun is always fixed at noon at the top of this 24-hour number dial. Over the course of a seasonal year, the sun appears to move back and forth, north and south, on a solar meridian, passing through the sun, which also serves as the date indicator, pointing at the current date on the calendar band here on the edge of the celestial ring. This vertical orientation of the Earth-Sun axis highlights the Earth's circle of illumination in a way that you've maybe never seen before. See how it tilts above and below the Earth's spin axis over the course of a seasonal year. And you can see how this affects the distribution of light to plants at different latitudes on the surface of the Earth. All right, hit the now button. That takes you back to the current time and date. All right, now let's take a look at this poster, which is called the endocrine circulatory system of chakras. The word chakra is from the Sanskrit. It means wheel. And maybe you've seen pictures of the chakra system consisting of 7 or more energetic wheel-like structures stacked vertically in the body. Now, the theory is that each chakra is ruled by a planet and sympathetically manifests an organ system in the body reflecting the nature and characteristics of that ruling planet. So in this system, the sun is the crown chakra and Earth is the heart chakra, or heart planet of the solar system. So note the wheel-like structure of the calendar clock, Earth at the center of the celestial ring, and how the Earth, or the space surrounding the Earth, can be divided into 4 quadrants, equivalent to the 4 chambers of a heart. So you've got the north and south hemispheres of Earth. This is the axis pointed out this way, so this is the north hemisphere, separated by the Earth's equatorial plane, equivalent to the right and left sides of the heart. And these 2 hemispheres, north and south, are divided into quadrants by the Earth's circle of illumination, separating the light half from the dark half of Earth. Now, the light half of Earth's hydrosphere is equivalent to the blood flowing through the lungs, while the dark half of Earth's hydrosphere is equivalent to the blood flowing through the digestive system and the rest of the body. Now, by the way, the hydrosphere is defined as all the water on the surface and in the atmosphere surrounding the Earth. Note how the sun heats water on the surface of the Earth, which turns to vapor, rises up into the atmosphere, like the blood is ejected from the heart up into the lungs. As the Earth slowly spins, this water vapor in the atmosphere is carried to the opposite dark side of the planet, where it's cooler, and that allows the water vapor to condense and fall as rain. So this planetary hydrologic cycle is equivalent to the circulatory system in animals. From this system's perspective, the solar system is a photosynthetic organism on a cosmic scale. This illustration shows 2 trees growing out of the Earth, symbolically representing the 2 phases of photosynthesis. This top tree represents the light phase of photosynthesis, which is solar powered and occurs when light from the sun activates chlorophyll in plants, driving a chemical reaction that charges cellular batteries called ATP and produces oxygen as a waste product that gets released into the atmosphere. This lower tree represents the dark phase of photosynthesis, and which can be performed in the absence of light, and it involves building and maintaining plant material. Now, individual plants don't have a digestive system, but they do eat by filtering carbon dioxide molecules out of the atmosphere, like a blue whale filters plankton out of the ocean. Plants grow by using these solar-powered cellular batteries to assemble carbon dioxide molecules into glucose molecules, part of a cellular pathway called the Calvin cycle. Glucose molecules can be further linked together to form starch and cellulose, which is what plants are made of. Now, instead of photosynthesis, animals use a complementary chemical process known as cellular respiration in order to charge their cellular batteries. Animals inhale the oxygen generated by plants into our lungs, and that oxygen is absorbed into the blood flowing through the lungs, passes through the heart and back out to the cells, making up the rest of the body. That oxygen is used to slowly burn glucose molecules obtained from eating and digesting plants. And that drives a chemical reaction which charges cellular batteries, the exact same ATP molecule used by plants. These cellular batteries are used to power all of the cellular activities that allow our human bodies to grow and be active. In the process, carbon dioxide molecules are released as a waste product, exhaled back into the atmosphere, where they once again become available for plants to eat and grow more plant material. Together, plants and animals perform a perpetuum mobile of life. Now, you're probably familiar with the Gaia hypothesis, the idea that the Earth is a living organism with its own physiology. And this is an important idea, but it does give a somewhat misleading impression that the Earth is like some giant bacteria floating out there in space somewhere. But the fact is that the living Earth with a photosynthetic biosphere doesn't exist without the sun and the moon. Earth and its biosphere is not so much an organism as it is an organ system in the body of the solar system. It's like that old Sufi saying, the solar system is a great man, and man is a small solar system. Gaia has a head, and the sun is the brains or governor of this cosmic body, and the Earth is the heart chakra or heart planet, functioning as the heart, lungs, and digestive system of this photosynthetic organism whose biorhythms are measured and demonstrated by the monad calendar clock. So let me show you a few more things about monad before I end this talk. All right. Okay, there it is. Now, monad features planet Earth at the center of a Earth-centered celestial ring, but heliocentric or sun-centered algorithms drive all of the planetary activity. There goes the moon, and you can see the planets are moving relative to the background of the stars, and the stars are moving relative to the sun, which is fixed at noon at the top of the 24-hour number dial. And if you hit the helio button, you'll see how planet Earth is actually still orbiting the central sun, carrying the celestial ring with it. And you can zoom in. You can see how helio and geocentric modes are really just different perspectives on the same underlying activity. Go back and forth between helio and geo. And also in helio mode, you can see how the other planets are moving relative to the Earth. These are the orbital pathways of Mercury and Venus, and there's Mars right there. This outer structure is a representative planetary dial showing the outer planets. There's Saturn and Jupiter. Then let's go back to geo, and from geo hit the astro button. That takes you to astro mode, which features a two-dimensional calendar clock face, which allows you to set the time by dragging the hour hand, or you can set the date by dragging the calendar band, or to go faster, drag the zodiac band. You could drag the date all the way back to your birthday and check out your birth chart. This table at the top of the screen shows the precise location of the sun and the moon and the planets at any time and date. Astro Mode will eventually feature an educational astronomy program and a scientific astrology program associated with this table and chart. Hit the Now button. Now let's take a look at Event Mode, which is where you can record your personal events, including your personal biorhythms, in the context of planetary events we all share. Monad also allows you to record events in the now, which brings more presence into your life. For instance, I'm recording this event here now. I'm filming this video, The Heart of the Solar System, and I could edit this event, add some text to the notes section, save that. These are events from earlier today. This is my breakfast. This is my sleep period. Here's from yesterday and the day before and the day before. I've got events going back months and months here. And all you got to do is hit the Now button to bring you back to the current time and date. And the Monad Event Manager is based on the principles of chronobiology. And it will eventually feature the only scheduling program you will ever need, complete with weekly, monthly, and yearly calendar formats, along with a lot of useful summary screens. And I'll be amazed if you don't use it every day, all the time. And if you do use Monad as your clock and calendar, you will find it much easier to visualize, understand, and care for the planetary biosphere, which is the photosynthetic heart of the living solar system. So thank you for watching this video, and I think this video is done.